this was the best. Because 8 years is a long time. And I can honestly say in the past, I would do it and, I'd start strong and then maybe I'll fall behind a day and I get irritated and upset and I will give up, honestly. But I can say this year, one reason why I believe this was like my best Ramadan and why this was the most fulfilling is because my intentions were known and clear to me. Because up until that point, I've worked on establishing my self discipline. I was really heavy on, consistently going to the gym, consistently waking up and making my prayers and reading the Holy Quran every morning. So because I already had that level of self discipline going into Ramadan, it was a little easier. Not saying it was easy, but it was easier for me to wake up at 5 in the morning to pray. It was a little easier for me to wake up and do my readings and be consistent with my readings. I actually was very consistent with my readings this year for the first time ever. I did not finish my reading. I literally have one chapter left. One. But I consistently read all throughout Ramadan, which was so new to me, and I was so proud of myself. But again, that's because I had the self-discipline going into Ramadan, and I also had the intention to complete my fast. And I was just very headstrong this year and persevering. So intentions was one. So if you struggled this year, please have your intentions. And also prepare yourself before Ramadan. If you struggle, if you're not waking up at 5 o'clock already, if you're not making your prayers already, and if you're not reading your Holy Quran at least once a week, if not once a day, you're going to struggle during Ramadan. We are habitual creatures. What we make as habits is going to be what we are. So you have to make a habit of doing these things and before you jump into them. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So yeah. Number one, intentions. Number two, self-discipline. It kind of falls into number one. I had a level of self-discipline going into Ramadan. And because I had this self-discipline, I believe that's why I was able to successfully get up. And now it's not like I woke up every morning at 5 a.m. I'm not going to lie to y'all and pretend like I'm just this perfect person who did everything right. Some days I did wake up a little later. Because actually at one point I no longer needed to drink water in the morning to feel hydrated throughout the day. And again, I think that's because before Ramadan, I already was not drinking a lot of water, which was not good, but it really benefited me during Ramadan because you can't drink. So I allowed myself to sleep in sometimes because I was just so tired this Ramadan, especially once the time changed. The spring forward happened. I don't remember what day or what week as well. I think it was after the first week, but my sleep schedule has not been the same since that day. Ramadan was going good up until that point. I was just so exhausted from that day forward. But again, I no longer needed water, so I will allow myself to get extra sleep sometimes and then just make my prayers and read after that. And also I read first thing in the morning. After I did my 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. prayer, I would immediately read. And so I'd get it out of the way for the day because when my day starts, it starts. And I may not get back to reading where reading will make me tired and I will go to sleep and it'll just be a whole issue. So the self-discipline. Number 3, iftars. I attended a lot of iftars this year. Opposed to in the past, I don't remember having and being invited to and just being at as many iftars last year as I did this year. I really broke bread with a lot of different people and I'm very grateful for that because Ramadan is a time in which you are to spend, of course, you're trying to re-establish your relationship with Allah. You're trying to read the Holy Quran, the revealed word. But you also want to fellowship with other believers, with other Muslims. And it's just the spirit. It's like your spirit because you're participating in Ramadan and then someone else's spirit. All of those spirits coupled together, especially if that's a genuine person. It's a beautiful, beautiful environment to be in. To be amongst believers when you're fasting and when you're breaking your fast. So I can honestly say, because again, I didn't have to cook a lot of times. I did primarily have to cook most of my meals. And I'm actually proud of myself because I cooked a lot of home cooked meals and they were really good. But just the iftars that I attended, I went out to eat a few times. I had iftars at people's homes. It was just delicious, beautiful, moments in time that I will never forget because it made my Ramadan. It's like every weekend I had something to go to eat a meal, and I love that. And I'd say the last one, the last iftar that I had was at a literal mansion with some very rich believers, which was so incredible to me because I just love being around affluent believers because it's very inspiring to me because inshallah one day I will have a really nice home and um, for my children to grow up in a lot of land and just being able to do what I want on that land. So being able to experience that as an iftar during Ramadan was top tier. I had amazing food. I had an amazing time with the believers. We played games. We just congregated. It was just a wonderful time. I will never forget the day. I will never forget that experience and how I felt and how happy I was to just be amongst the believers and just, it wasn't even about the food. The food was like a small portion. It was just, again, the spirit and the beauty of being amongst people who believe like you and who are also fasting and going through that same struggle. Um, Number 4, I made a new friend, and honestly, I can't even say this is a new friend. Um, this sister, we've pretty much known each other for like a whole year now. She came to our birthday dinner. I came to her birthday dinner. It was just, I've always, thought she was cool, whatever. And we talked, but like not really, but like we really didn't get to know each other until this Ramadan. I decided to invite her out to iftar because I wanted to treat her. Because this is her second Ramadan, and I like to take care and look after the new ones because I wish I had someone to look after me when I was new, and I kind of did. But anyways, that's just a big sister in me. I want to look out for them. I want to help them and be of service however I can. And then we did, and as a result of that, outing, ever since that day, we really kind of started building a bond to an extent. And it turns out we really are a lot alike. And I'm someone who considers the people in my life as the true gifts and the true blessings. Because it's cool to get gifts, physical gifts. It's cool to give gifts. But I personally believe that the people in my life are my gifts. They are the gifts that keep on giving because it's one thing to, receive something and, it's cool because it's something that you bought. Like I got some new shoes and I'm not thinking about the shoes. They're just there because I'm not a materialistic person. But when you have a person or a friend in your life that is in your life that you actually genuinely enjoy spending time with, that you enjoy conversing with, and you just have a good time with them. You're always thinking about them and you're always communicating with them and whatnot. And it's pleasurable. It's a pleasurable thing. So in the long term, I enjoy people. And so as a result of, this new friendship, that kind of, again, I made this a wonderful Ramadan because it was like, oh, wow, this is nice. A new person, a new friend, a new sister. That's definitely a highlight of Ramadan. So, yeah. What was I saying with that? Yeah, that added to why this was like the best Ramadan ever. And then last but not least, what did I put here? I received a lot of miscellaneous income, and what I mean by miscellaneous income, I recently transferred over to T-Mobile for my Wi-Fi, and they had a special to where if you keep your Wi-Fi for like 3 months, they'll give you like $300. I didn't believe them. I thought they were lying because why would they just give people random money like that? But lo and behold, they weren't lying. So at the beginning of March, I got an email with a gift card saying, here's a $300. And I said, oh, wow, praise be to Allah. Look at this. In the middle of Ramadan, I get this money. And I've been really struggling financially for the last like 3 years. I don't know if anybody noticed. I don't know if I've been saying this. I don't remember what I say anymore. But basically, for the most part, since I've been in Chicago, I've mainly just been paying bills and just striving to get by. I've had highs, I had lows. It'll always, sorry, alarm went off. But things will just always fluctuate. But this month, I received, like I said, the $300. And I said, well, Allah, if I actually get this money, I want to spend that money on some new spring clothes because I don't have clothes. I got rid of a lot of my old stuff. A lot of stuff I got from the thrift store, which I'm fine with. I don't mind cheap stuff because I'm still trying to find my style. But I said, you know what? We're going to buy some stuff. And we're going to buy a whole bunch of stuff. I decided to go with Shein, even though I've never used Shein before because I was a little skeptical. But I said, it's a gift card. Why not? So I splurged on a bunch of stuff from Shein. I got a few things for my kitchen. And I was just really happy to do that. That was literally the first time I can say, probably in my life, that I've ever spent that much money in one place. And especially on clothes. ever since maybe high school, I don't buy a bunch of clothes like that anymore because that's not what's important to me. Once I graduated high school, I started my business. My money went towards my business, and then once I accumulated bills, my money went towards bills, and now I'm an adult and I have even more bills. Most of my money goes toward living expenses. But for me to have the leftover income to be able to do that was so beautiful, and it was such a gift for me. And I have a video maybe that I'm gonna post on here of me opening everything because I was just so grateful. It was just such a beautiful treat. And then on top of that, I got a new client. I am now, who am I? Yeah, I now have a new client that started as a part-time client, which is actually crazy. They reached out to me shortly before March, and again, people they reach out to me for many things. People always say, "Hey, I want to work with you. I want to do this or that." And sometimes I believe them, sometimes I don't. And also, I oftentimes forget to follow up with people because unfortunately, I am the only one who does what I do. I don't have any employees right now. I'm really working on getting people to team with me or an assistant or something, but I don't have that at the moment. So if people say they want to work with me, if they want to do things, I forget off times. But this person, they were consistent and they reached out after Savior's Day and they immediately wanted to start me working with their content. I don't know if I'll disclose now who the client is. I'll give it some time. But they immediately wanted me to start working. And then after a week, they said, "Hey, can you do this page as well?" I was like, "Oh, that's going to be more." And they said, "I know it's going to be more. That's fine." And I said, "Oh, wow. I'll praise you to Allah. Sure, yeah." Taking up a lot of my time, and I took up a lot of my new time during service. I mean Ramadan, and it kind of shook me up a little bit because I did intend on my time to be towards me painting. This new client on top of my other clients. I literally have 4 clients now that I am responsible for their content every single week. And I don't know if I explained this, but I am a social media marketer. I manage people's social media pages for a living. That's how I make my living. And then I also paint and draw and stuff. So I make additional income. But my job is social media managing. So I have 4 clients. And I've just been managing that, for Ramadan. But again, I think that's why additionally, this has been the best Ramadan ever because I've been striving to and struggling to manage those 4 income streams, but also struggling to create the art and create the time in the headspace that I can create the art. Because I don't know if you're a creative person, but for me at least, when it comes to painting or creating, I have to be in the right head state. And for me, I have to do it when I have a day where I don't have to create any content anymore. I don't have to be on the internet and I don't have to talk to people because that's when I'm able to get in my zone. So it usually doesn't happen until like Wednesdays or Thursdays for me. Um, but yeah, new client, which means more income, which means I am in a level of comfort that I have not experienced since 2000 and what 2021, 2022 maybe. So all praise is due to Allah. I'm just extremely grateful. This Ramadan has been extremely beautiful, and I will remember this for the rest of my life. And inshallah, I'll carry on this spirit for the rest of the year, for the rest of my life, for as long as I possibly can. I still like to wake up and read my Holy Quran, just pray and open to whatever page that Allah wants me to read for that day, because I feel like that helps strengthen my communication with the God. Because it's one thing to pray and um, yeah, it's one thing to pray, but it's another thing to get an actual response to your prayers, which has been happening a lot for me lately, which is kind of crazy, but at the same time, it's not. Um, but yeah, great Ramadan. Overall, my takeaway from this Ramadan is when you put Allah first, He will give you everything that you desire second. Um, Last year, I was going through a process of detachment, meaning I wasn't really attaching myself to anything or anybody because I know that ultimately everything is essentially temporary. And the things that are meant for me, the things that are meant to happen with me in my life, they're going to come as long as I continue to work on me, as long as I continue to put the God at the forefront, and I strive to be who Allah God ultimately wants me to be. And then, as long as I'm doing that and doing what He wants me to do, everything else is gonna flow. And by the grace and mercy of Allah, I kid you not, this Ramadan was a witness to that very statement. The new client, the iftars, being disciplined with my prayers and my discipline with my reading, being able to eat well. The new friend, like I said, I got a whole bunch of new clothes and new shoes, which was nice. But I completely forgot about that stuff. It's just hanging in my closet. But you know what I'm not forgetting about? I don't forget about my people, and I don't forget about the people who make me happy, who I actually feel like a genuine connection with. So that's how I know. You know, it's a gift. It's a gift from the God. So, yeah, let go, let God. Stop doing what you think you're supposed to be doing and just listen to what he's telling you to do. And everything else will unfold in his time. So thank you guys for listening. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I didn't expect it to be this long. But I'm striving to create more videos like this, or just more videos in general. Because, again, like I said, I have 4 clients now. So that means I have a lot of content to create on a week-to-week basis. I have a lot of things that are pulling on my attention, which is important. It's good. But I also don't want to neglect you all with, information, with what I'm going through and what my experiences may spark in other people. Because I just talk about my life. It's not me, it's Allah, because I don't know what you're going through. I just know what I'm going through, and I'm just sharing what I'm going through and what I'm experiencing, and it's helping. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. I'll catch you guys in the next video, which I think is going to be very beneficial to everyone if you decide to watch it. So thank you guys again for watching. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.